Awesome, you guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining. So this was a student-requested class on turn technique and some drills that you can do to practice at home. And I'll keep checking the camera angles, make sure we're good. This is so much an interactive experience, so please ask questions, type them in. Let me know if I can situate myself better in the camera as well. But just let me know how I can help you. But what I'm going to start with first is just how to hold your weight. Because we want to find that posture first that's supported before we start to move it. We need a stable structure before we go into movement, yeah? So we start at the foundation as dancers. Foundation affects everything above it, right? So where you hold your weight matters a lot, and it needs to be at the front of the foot and on the inner edge of the ball. So I call it the silver dollar space, right? So if you take the size of a silver dollar and find the mound of the ball of the foot, which is right here under the big toe. That whole surface area, that nice flat surface area, is where your weight is held. By your weight, I mean your spine. So your spine is balanced right now between those two silver dollar flat circles. It's not a pinpoint, it's a fairly wide surface area. What you don't want to do is be on the toes. You don't want to grip the floor with the toes. It slows you down, but it injures your joints, and that is not a stable place to hold the weight of the body. Okay? So that's how we set up the foundation in the feet. From there, to support that, we want to hug the ankles in toward each other. So from here to here, okay? So that also takes my energy toward the central axis of my body, right? Because everything revolves around this central axis, right here all the way through, okay? So ankles are always wanting to come back together. No matter where you go, they're wanting to come back together, yeah? So as you hold your weight, they're hugging together. And from there, you have a soft bend in the knees. So we're never locking the knee in salsa terms. Different from other styles, but for salsa, there's a slight bend and it gives us a nice amount of speed. From there, you're pulling up on the quads and squeezing the inner thighs, not just in, but up, okay? So from here we have in and up, which is, I consider this the base of your spine. Even though anatomically that's not correct, this is where its support starts, is here. Then your pelvic floor activates right here, like, what is that, 3 inches beneath the belly, just the base of the pelvis here. Firm it in and up, yeah? Okay, and then from that position, we have our hip stabilizers, okay? These medial glutes, the outer edges of your hips, push in, they firm in, right? And if you've never really activated them, abduct, take your foot away, yes? You'll feel them activate. Put your hand there and feel them, right? Except we don't want that action in the body, but we do want the muscle contraction. So familiarize yourself with what that feels like. Then activate the muscle inward, okay? But same muscle, different action, yeah? Okay, so you should feel these hip stabilizers. Right here, the crease beneath the glutes, hamstrings, in, elongate through the hip flexors. Not tucked, but it's supporting, it's lifting, right? I still have a slight curve in the low back. And I'm forward over those silver dollar spaces on the balls of the feet. So this whole area here is firming in, like you're between 2 panes of glass, and up, in and up, right? So that's mid-body, yeah? And then here we zip in and tie it together, yes? So these rib cage flares here can close and knit together. This reaches in and up, this closes, and from that, internally we lift. Okay, another way to think of these closing is what actually initiates the motion, which is the shoulder blades, the scapula. They draw down the back, and then they widen to anchor around the spine. They anchor around the rib cage, sorry, not the spine. So down and wrap. They wrap. Using serratus anterior here. So if I go down and like this, which is what a lot of people do when I say stand up tall, okay, this is what we're doing. We're flaring through the rib cage. My shoulder blades are down, but they're not forward. So draw them down and then wrap them around the rib cage, like you're trying to press something away from you, and allow that to close, right? So this action actually starts in the back, which is why our core is the entirety of the front and back and not just the six pack, yeah? So we start in the back, lower down, and wrap around the front. So we have this lift and this closing, and that takes everything forward over the balls of the feet. Now we have what we call stacked posture. Ear over shoulder over hip over ankle. I could drop a plumb line, and it's supported not just by the muscles, but by the skeletal structure of my body, right? The actual solid structures are now stacking in a way that I look nice, but I'm also supported, okay? It makes it easier. I can actually relax a little bit into this posture once I know how to get there. Instead of being in the wrong posture and everything having to work so hard to hold it, find the skeletal posture so that the muscles that have to activate do, and the ones that can relax or be the antagonist or the supporters can, yeah? So I hope this makes sense. Leave a comment if you have a question. I just dropped a lot of stuff. That's a lot of information. I will leave this up and you can ask me questions anytime. As far as energy in the body, we have the central axis of the body. We also have root and rebound. So another way to think of that is action counterbalance, right? So we have this idea in every movement that we make, okay? But as far as posture goes, root and rebound, action counterbalance. So from the edge of the rib cage here, the ones that we knit together, think of your legs as starting at that level. Anatomically, not so much, but for dancers, yes. So think of your leg as starting here, so that when you think about rooting down, pressing, literally pressing down into the floor, like an isometric contraction, you're trying to crack the floor. Started here. So that activates what's called the iliopsoas, right, which starts at the rib cage and comes down over the hip joint into the leg, right? It's this long muscle, and a whole bunch of other stuff, QL. Think about that so that your core is an inextricable part of your leg, okay? So we root down into the floor from there and allow that energy to rebound, to bounce back up the body. So as much as I push down, I also lift up with the same posture we just talked about. So I have this energy in my body, right? As I pull down, I'm also releasing forward, okay? So in that way, I'm never so high that I lose contact with the floor. I'm also never so low that I'm pulling back and falling forward, right? There's this elasticity, this tension, right? Pulled in both directions creates a stability in the body around the central axis. Okay, so it's a lot of information to digest, but just keep that in mind. Focus. I kind of use the analogy of puzzle pieces. Focus on one or two. Just feel them in your body. The silver area and hug. Do that for a week, right? And then move up the body. Inner thighs, pelvic floor. Nice, long through the low back. Do that for a week, right? And then we build up and start foundation, couple things up here. And then it all starts to click like clockwork. And it's not so much to think about. Okay, how we doing, guys? Okay, hi Christine, you made it. That's awesome, honey. Okay, cool. So this is posture. This is what we think about when we set up our body. This is dancing, right? My ballet teachers used to say the minute you walk into the classroom, you're already in proper posture. Not until you get your shoes on, not after you're done getting ready and then you're out on the floor and then your teacher says 5, 6, 7, 8. No, the minute you walk into the studio. So when you're ready to dance, this is your posture, right? This is how you hold yourself. Then we can talk about drills and technique. Okay, so let's do a couple drills for balance because that's all you're doing. You're doing balance in motion when you're turning. You are balancing on that silver dollar area with the posture we just talked about and the muscle strength and the root rebound energy in motion. Okay, so get your balance down and then it'll be easier to move. All right, so set up your posture. I'm not gonna go through it all again just so I don't bore you, but have your weight here, have a nice bend, not huge, just a softness in the back of the knees, root and rebound, shoulders down. And when you have your frame here, there's social frame for salsa and turning frame, okay? So social frame is like between the belly button and the knit part of the rib cage is right here. You connect, you dance. When you turn, it's nipple level, right here. Your palms press down and forward from shoulder blades. So I'm not just doing this with my wrist because this is not connected to my body. Your appendages, your legs and your arms are an extension of your spine. Everything is about the spine in dance. The spine and the core, yeah? Your arms are an extension of that. So anything that I do here needs to be initiated here between shoulder blades. You see how low I am here? Not here. This is your core, and it needs to be anchored here where we knit together, the solar plexus. Anchored, literally anchored. Think about your arm being anchored here, yeah? So it's initiated here when I lift my arms. If you had your hand here, you would feel, these are the rhomboids, yeah? And other muscles too, but a lot of rhomboids, okay? So there's this pulling down, action, counterbalance. Always come back to that concept. Action, counterbalance, yeah? Or action, counterbalance, either way, yeah? So your frame begins there. Then when I flip, pushing down and forward, it's from my shoulder blades as they pull down and wrap around my rib cage. Translates out into elbows, internal rotation at the shoulder joint, and palms pressing forward at the nipple level. Okay? So in this way, this is very much a part of my body, of my spine, and I can use it for balance. I can use it for control. Okay. So when we set that up and we have our proper weight distribution, everything else, proper posture, yeah? Okay. So we're going to place the weight on one leg. And if you're doing this with control, I should see full body movement and not hip movement. This is breaking the line of energy. This is moving the body as one piece, one unified piece, which is what we want to be when we turn. Now, when we dance, yeah, we do a lot of movement. When you turn, you're one solid piece. Okay, so find yourself in a solid piece on this leg. I think that's going to be your left. I could be wrong. Okay, and start to lift the toe off the floor. Now, as we do this, remember, there's always that magnetic hugging intention between the ankles. It never goes away. So whenever I lift my foot, it's never going to be just floating out here randomly by itself. Your appendages are an extension of your spine. Your leg starts here, and it always wants to hug in like a magnet. Okay? So find that balance there. Now from this position, I'm going to draw my toe up my leg so that magnetic connection stays. It never leaves no matter where I'm at on the standing leg. Yeah? And then remember that your leg starts here, so I'm not lifting from just this point. I'm lifting from my core, right? Pelvic floor comes in and up. This knits in, my back is lifted. Now my leg goes higher. Okay. So inner edge, silver dollar of the standing leg, inner thighs toward each other, proper posture. So this is nice balance, and this is training your body to hold your weight over that silver dollar surface area with control and ease and strength. Yeah, outer hips are currently firming in for pelvic stability. What I mean is not doing this, because now have no support. Hamstrings forward, glutes in, outer hips in, stretching forward and up through hip flexors. All of this keeps it stable. I'm pulling up in to lift through my spine. Shoulders down and forward. Yeah? Okay. So let's try that on the other side as well. Okay, so set up ankles together, inner thighs strong, long through the spine, knit it together, pull it up. Shoulder blades down and flatten against the back of the body. Stacked posture. Forward, down and forward, nipple level, connected to the back, always. Yeah? And then see if you can transfer your weight first by pulling that toe off the floor, hugging the ankles together. And as we pull up, it starts here. It's initiated here from the core. Yeah, lift through the spine. Now, things to keep in mind that I see. When we do this, I see the hip lifting to try to, keep the hips stable, hip stabilizers, yeah? Keep them both equidistant from the floor. Both rooting down to lift through the body. Root and rebound, action counterbalance, yes? Okay. Second thing I see is this, to balance the body. Yeah, so don't let your torso go askew. That's an extraneous movement that takes you out of your alignment. So train your body little by little to have proper alignment and know what balance means in that alignment. That's all you're doing. You're just training your body. Yeah? So move slowly. Don't try to go from A to Z if this is your Z. Yes? Go slowly. Work here. This is Monday. This is Tuesday. This is Wednesday. Yeah? So have patience as you move through this so that you can find proper posture. Okay. Good. Questions? Okay. Cool, you guys. All right. So that's a lot of technique for balance. From that understanding, from this pulling up into passe, yeah? We then strengthen the muscles of the standing leg. Okay, so find yourself with your weight on the standing leg, all the things we just talked about, posture, strength, where the legs start, where the arms start, yeah? Plie or lower down, bend this knee. Notice, I'm not falling open, I'm not leaning back, I'm not arching the low back, so everything we just talked about. Root, the more this lowers down, the more I rebound up through my spine. Goes away, yeah? And the lower I go, the stronger the lift, yes? So, lower down, turning frame, extend the leg from where it starts at the edge of the rib cage, from the hips, yeah? All of this is active. Still on the inner edge there, you see this ankle. I'm not here. Keep all your foundation active no matter where you go. That's why the foundation is so important, because it's everywhere. Okay? And then from here, drag it back in, no weight on it, rise up into passe. Watch that hip. Plie. Drag it down, extend. There's literally no weight on it. Drag it across like you have a piece of tissue paper. Yeah, drag it in. Rise up through this quad, up through the spine, and lift up into passe. And when we rise, I'm actually pushing down into the ball of the foot to give me upward energy. Okay? So we can lower, extend, in, passe for days. Yes, another side. Set up your proper posture. Shoulders down and wrapped, turning frame, zip it up, close it, silver dollar, in towards central axis of the body, yes? Plie, no weight, keep that hugging action in. Now that hugging action remains as I extend. What that means is my inner thighs are still very much pulling in and up. into my body. So these are the invisible internal mechanics that go on, right? I don't just release it. Now, my leg's out here, cool. No, in, they're pulling in, like they want to come back to each other. They want to. So that when they come back in, it's from here into my spine, and I rise. Yeah? Lower, in, and rise. And connect to the central axis of the body and never lose it. Okay, cool. Questions? Okay. Awesome. All right, guys. So that's one. Those are 2 drills for both balance, actually balance, and also strength for your legs. So salsa specific drill. I'm going to face the other way. Watch first. Do not rush any of these drills, guys. When we train, nothing is rushed because then you lose the quality. Don't just get from A to B and say, I did it. Okay? So it looks like this. Everything we just talked about. Okay? You step forward. I extend. I transfer my weight. Pivot. Transfer my weight. Collect. Okay, so this is training for a right turn. It's also training for spins, all right? And it requires a lot of control. So we're going to do that together. Set up your posture, okay? Stacked posture, everything. Weights on the right foot, okay? Shoulders down. When I extend my left leg, I'm extending from the rib cage, okay? Root and rebound. The more I extend, the more I should see you lift. Yes? Lift. From here, to transfer my weight, I push off the ball of my right foot. That energy pushing down rebounds up through my spine and sends me forward. Yes? Action, counterbalance, root rebound. Push onto that leg. And I want to show you from the front, there is no space. It's what I call heel to toe alignment. No space. Why? Because your inner thighs and ankles are always trying to hug each other. Always. Central axis. Forward. Yes? From here, all of my weight is on this foot, so I'll have you do a weight check. Lift your right leg up and lower it down. Okay, so all your weight's on your left foot. From there, without pushing into the right foot, use the ball of your left foot and your back to rotate to the right until you are now heel to toe alignment with your right leg extended, root and rebound. This is training you to move from just your feet and not from here. Yes? Beautiful. Transfer the weight by pushing down into the left foot, rebound up through spine and send your weight forward. Good. Inner thighs touching, heel to toe alignment, turning frame, weight check. Lift that back leg, lower it down. And then from here you are going to collect, meaning inner thighs pull that left leg in, my back creates rotation, and I turn to collect my feet. Okay, so I'll do that facing another way, and then I'm going to explain another concept. But from here, set it up. Extend and lift, transfer, weight check, pivot, transfer, weight check, collect and pivot. Again, extend and lift, weight transfer, weight check, pivot, weight check, collect and pivot. Okay, so that's something that you'll practice with control with ease, because if you can do that, then that's easy, yes? What looks complicated is built on foundation. Okay, so one thing, let's see, technique for turns. So mechanics for rotation in the body. It starts in the feet. The foot is pushing into the floor, yes? And you can feel that from what you're doing here, pushing without using the other leg. Yes? From here, push, push, push. You can do little quarter turns, you can do half turns. That's just pushing into the floor, but what we want to do is synchronize 3 actions. Synchronize as in do at the same time. So for all turns, what I'm trying to do is synchronize low body, torso, and head. Okay? So when I'm turning, I want to do what's called closing action. I'll do it from here so you can see. When my feet are split like this, even if I'm split weight or weighted on one leg, they're not together. So what closing action consists of is my inner thighs squeezing together like super glue. Yes? From the side, squeeze together like super glue, right? Because they're always trying to hug each other. Just magnify that by like 10,000. Yes? That energy, that in and up energy alone should be able to get you around a couple times. Yeah? So that's the low body, that's closing action. Now every time we have an action, we have a counterbalance. So that powerful action here is counterbalanced and stabilized by the hip stabilizers. Yeah? So we have all this energy. Contain it and lift it so it creates rotation and not knocking you off your axis. Okay? So that's the low body. Synchronize with the torso. The torso, consider the back as having 2 strips, one on either side of the spine. Starting at the top portion of the trap here, all the way down like a ribbon to the sacrum, all the way down. So what that means is I can use my back to create rotation. Now, remember that when you're turning, your body is moving as one unit. For now. There's funky stuff you can play with. But for now, 1 unit. What that means is when I pull with my back, I'm not pulling just the rib cage. Definitely not pulling the arms because they're an extension of my spine. We do not use the arms to prep or give the body energy for a turn right now. And I'm pulling my hips together as one as well. This whole thing moves as a unit, one piece, okay? Supported by the stability and energy momentum of the feet. So one thing you can do to feel this is take the feet about shoulder width. Use your back only to pull and rotate. Pull and rotate. Pull and rotate. Very easy to cheat on this one and use your feet. And be like, yeah, I'm using my back. But you're not. So only you know this. Engage your core, use your back, relax your feet. Just for now. Use your back, feel these muscles. It's kind of like doing the lat rows along with pull downs, along with the other stuff, yeah? So engage your entire back, rotate as one, and feel how you can actually build up a good amount of energy this way. So what you can do is pull for 3 times. 1, 2, 3, pull. And again, 1, 2, pull with your back. Good. So when you're pulling like that, keep your arms out in front of you, turning frame, and feel like there's a string that somebody is winding you up with. And go on, let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's your torso. The counterbalance to that pulling action to stop us from doing this and all that stuff is your core. Yeah? So your core is the entire thing. The front of it stays knit together and keeping you in your stacked posture. So even though there's a lot going on here, it's being counterbalanced by the front. So this guy is firming in to support me. As I create energy with the back, I'm stabilized and lifted. So we're synchronizing actions. Action 1, low body, super glue, hip stabilizers, in and up. Action 2, torso, rotation, core stability. Synchronize at the same time. Third action, spot, Okay, so when you're first training to spot, we train you that your head is the last thing to leave, and then it is the first to arrive. Last to leave, first to arrive. Cool, valid, use it always. But as you get into higher levels of multiple spins, 2, 3, 4, whatever, one thing that will give you speed that you can play with either now or later, just depending on where your spin game is, right? Is letting your body rotate 45 degrees and then whipping your head. 45 and then whipping the head, okay? So instead of going here, I go here. A little faster, a little extra whip in there. Both are fine. They're both good. Your head is still the first one to get there in both cases. Rule of thumb in dance and kind of life in general, where you're looking, your body follows. It just does. Yeah, if you're looking down, you start to do this. If you're looking up, you start to do this. Like your body, you're like a sunflower, right? Like your body just adapts to it. So keep that in mind when you're dancing. And when I'm social dancing, my focus, my world is my partner. Okay, anything that I'm doing is my partner. Okay, so if your end goal, I'll say that's 80% of the time. When you're turning away from your partner, it's directly away from them where they guide you to, but I'm always coming back to them. So when you're doing something easy like a single turn, yeah, I'm spotting something on my partner that's between my eyelid and my chin. So I'm usually looking at a nose, a chin, or this notch right here. Sometimes they'll be wearing like a collared shirt or like a necklace or something, yeah? But find something to look at that's like, it's your target, it's your go-to, okay? You don't want to look too high, you don't want to look too low. Definitely not the eyes. Okay, so we're combining these three actions. Low body, closing action with stability. Mid body, torso rotation with core engagement. And spotting. All at the same time so that we have all three sections of the body synchronized like clockwork to generate energy and momentum. Yeah? Okay. So with that in mind, if we go through that last drill, set up your posture and your frame, we extend with a lift, transfer the weight, pivot using the legs and the back and the core. Look where you're going. Transfer the weight. And now here we have closing action, back and core, and spot. And then we're good, yeah? So this is something to keep in mind for that. That's a third drill, right? So we have passe. We have plie, extend, passe. Control. Transfer, weight check, pivot. Transfer, weight check, pivot, collect. Okay, so that's another one. And then the fourth one's going to be an axle turn, which just helps you to master the technique of synchronizing action. And don't lose any of the posture technique because that's your foundation always, right? So when we go into axle turns, we prep. Feet are parallel. You're still on the inner edges. You're still on the silver dollar surface area. Inner thighs, hip stabilizers, all of it. Yes? Okay, so when you're prepping, keep your feet under your frame because you're still supporting your spine always. If your feet are out here for a turn, you're losing energy, you're losing control. Okay? Keep your feet under your frame so you can still rise up into the body. And 25% of my weight is on the leg that's prepping, 75 is on the active leg. We push, we collect, and we use all our actions to complete the turn. Prep, close, torso, core, back, and spot. 1, 2, 3. And try the other side. Weight is on the left leg. 25% of my weight under my frame. 75 is still here. I'm not pulling. There's very little twisting. From now, when we're training, we train hard. Then you can make it easier later. Yeah? Right here, we have closing action, use your back. And 1, 3. 1, 3. Okay, good. All right, guys, how are we doing? Questions? Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so those are 4 drills so far. Passe, extend passe, with control, axle turn, axle turn. Okay, so keep those in mind. Pick and choose what's good for you. Do not overwhelm yourself and be like, I gotta do all 7. No, just pick 1 or 2, do it for a week, and then pick another 2. Yeah? Okay, I'm going to show you one more, which helps us with transitions, because quite often, especially in salsa, it's like one turn this way, one that way, across the slot, back across, it's like it's all over the place. But you want it to look graceful and beautiful and effortless, yeah? So one of the drills that I do is a single turn, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, into a left turn, 2, 3, 5, 7, 1, into a right turn, 6, 7, into axle turns, 1 and 5. Okay, right turn, right turn, axle turns. Let's go. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, right turn, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, left turn, 6, 7, 2, 3, right turn, 6, 7, axle, 2, 3, 6, 7, and then you start again. Okay, so what this requires is initiating proper technique, so initiating energy, right? The prep, the proper technique for turns, and stopping to redirect energy. Yeah, especially for those alternating axle turns. Prep, spin, stop, and then redirect. So when you stop like that, both are pulling in, so it's a centralized stop, and it's not this way, or this way, or this way. Yeah, so we prep, stop, prep with control, pull in and up, root down, and back for 1. So always have control over your transitions. Yeah? So from the top of that, we have a right, 3, extend, complete your turn, half a basic, 1, 3, left turn, prep, 5, 7, 1, 3, right turn, 5, 7, axle, 1, hold, 5, hold, and 1. Good. So we want that kind of control. Ooh, breathing. Never forget to breathe when you're dancing in general, but for spins especially, breathing actually gives you energy and it creates freedom. So don't hold your breath, because a lot of us do. See what happens to my body? I lose everything. There's no energy, and then and then we get injured. So breathe. Yeah, let's go through a couple habits to watch out for. So pulling back is one that I see quite often, like when people are trying to spin, they pull back and they fall. So remember, you're between 2 panes of glass, and the shoulder blades come down and wrap around, keeps you forward, and I'm feeling that from my pelvic floor. So everything's connected as one piece, but keep it forward. Watch yourself in a mirror, because what you feel like you're doing quite often just isn't, and that's okay. That's why we train with visual cues, yeah? Okay, so watch that one. Another one that I see is this. This means you've released. To do this, I have to release my core. There is absolutely no back strength right now, or this. So use your core, trust your core, and train it using this one here to pull, Train it using this here to lift, to stay upright over that leg and strong. And then train it to stay that way during turns so that your arms don't go and take over. Keep it open, yeah? So again, watch yourself in a mirror. I think those are most of the, oh, and then just holding your breath. So I see a lot of this, and then you're like, you lose gas 3/4 of the way through. So breathe. Easy. Your body goes with the way that your breath moves through it, yeah? Okay, so that's another drill to practice just for redirection, yeah? So let's do that one more time together. Right turn, right turn, alternating axles. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 1, 2, 3, left turn, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, right turn, axle, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 1. Okay, cool. Questions? Okay. So thank you so much. I'm so glad you asked for this class. I love going into technique and all of that stuff for students who are like hungry to learn, because this is like nerding out on dance. It's my favorite thing in the world. So guys, please ask me a bunch of questions. If you have some right now, I'm just going to give it a couple minutes because there's a reaction delay on Facebook Live. Just in case you have a question on something that I can answer right now, or if it just pops into your head at 3 o'clock in the morning, please feel free to leave a comment or message me. Practice this stuff. And what I also say, and what I'll just extend now because I know everybody is kind of stuck at home, but for my private students, what I usually say is, here's some drills. Before your next class, video yourself practicing and send it to me with questions or without, and let me help evaluate you. So if you do have questions or you want some help from me, just complimentary, guys, I'm here as a coach. Please feel free. Send me some videos. Let me know where you're feeling it. You're like, I just can't feel this right turn, or I'm having trouble with the alternating axle turns. Video yourself, send it on WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, and I'll help you. I'll draw circles and I'll make notes on your video and I'll send it back to you. I'd be very happy to extend that right now during this time for our community. And then if you do want a lesson, let me know. But, okay, questions? Okay. Cool. Oh, Ace is here. I'm so glad you're here. Cool. Okay, guys. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I love all of you so much. Have fun with your drills. Send me videos or questions if you want help with anything. I'm here. And if you have other classes that you'd like to learn, this was a student request, so please send me more. Okay, love all of you. Have an amazing night, and I will see you soon.